Good morning everyone. So today we're at a Toyota and it's a Toyota Prius hybrid. We've got something else here, but the salient points are it's a 2007 Prius hybrid. So the customer's complaint is there's warning lights on the dashboard, and he's looked on the internet and he says he thinks it just needs an oil change. So we'll see. I've heard it all now, but never mind. So you can see this, he's fairly getting on a bit, but they're pretty reliable, these things, although I'm sure the head gaskets are bad on these engines, really bad, and but I think the hybrid system's pretty robust. Barfy is that MG1 can burn out the motors, but let's go and see what his problem is. This car has 187,000 miles on the clock. So the customer complaint is these lights on the dashboard, so every light is on, and the red triangle is on. Now, any of you know a thing or two about these hybrids. That triangle is called the red triangle of death, and it's not a good sign. Also here on the monitor, you can see that our battery pack is only showing 1 bar. So can anyone guess what's wrong with this hybrid? So we've done a full scan, and you see it's all red. So let's go into diagnostic plan. Oh, here we go. Current P0A80 replace hybrid EV battery pack. Now that really says it all. You need to go no further. The battery pack is kaput. Although it's done not too bad. That's lasted 16, was that already 17 years? 18 years? Done alright. So that means the battery pack's kaput. Replace battery pack. Hybrid control, battery control system. There you go, a P3000. And then in the hybrid, it's got replace battery pack, same code again. Now we want to find out what, it'll be a cell that's away, or a group of cells, so it says block 10 becomes weak. So it's a P3020. And let's see, replace battery pack. So it seems to be block 10, or cell 10 is gone. So let's go back and go into the hybrid control. We're going to, that's no hybrid control, this one. Okay, you can hear a noise in the back, and I thought it was the radio, but it's the fan running. I think it's trying to cool the battery pack. So let's look at the data stream. So I've been in here already, had a wee look. I preempted this video. So we're going here, and so battery block maximum value is 16.33, its minimum value is 14.97. Now I'm sure from what I've read, between the minimum and the maximum, you can only have a maximum of half a volt. Now if I'm wrong, I'll put it in edit, but I'm sure it's only half a volt. So coming out, the battery pack at the moment is only 0.04 amps, that's nothing. So there's a total of 14 cells or battery blocks within this pack. So you can see number 1 is at 16.17, number 2 16.33, 16.33, 16.33, 16.29, 16.31, 16.25 and 16.3 and 8. Let's get to the big one, number 10. Number 9 16.32, number 10 14.97. So he's well out of spec. 11, 12, 13, 14. They're not too bad, although number 15 starting to get there. Battery state of charge 0. So Toyota would say replace the full battery pack, and that is probably the best advice, but it's very expensive. I'm sure we'll need to phone them up. We'll phone them up and ask. I'm sure it's in the region of about £3,000 or something like that, maybe even more. But I know that you can get away with repairing cells within the battery pack, and I'll show you where it resides. So I said to you, heard the noise, it's like the radio, but here it is. This is the fan, this is the intake for the fan that cools the battery pack. And I think some of them have got a filter in them you're meant to replace. But if you've got a dirty car, they can get really bad, but this one's quite clean. So that's the fan running, trying to cool the battery pack, but I'll show you where the battery pack is. So you open the boot and the battery pack is right there in front of you. The orange plug is the safety plug, so that's the high voltage disconnect. And as soon as you touch these battery packs, because they're high voltage, make sure you've got your wellies on. Hey, Roddy? Big wellies. Out of screw fix. Don't run a hose over it. So you disconnect that and then you can lift this battery pack out. But I don't think the customer will be wanting this job done. I'm pretty sure he won't be wanting it done. But the only thing, when you're running about in this car, rather than getting 60 mile to the gallon, you'll be doing about 30 mile to the gallon. So we'll try Toyota, see how much they want for the pack, and I'll get back to you. So we spoke to the customer, and unbelievably, they want it fixed. So we're just looking here at battery voltages, and intermittently, our bad one, well, we believe we've only got one bad one, he jumps to just under 200 volts. And this one jumps to 90 volts. And you see number 4 jumps up, and number 2 jumps up. Oh. So I was talking to someone, and they said they can get corrosion in them if you get varying voltages. So I don't know if that's the case here. But here's the problem we have. So I've been doing a lot of research, and the consensus of opinion is you're better not to replace it with a second-hand battery, or even try to rebuild it yourself. You're wasting your time. You're better to go to Toyota and get a new battery. Oh. And the good news is at Toyota, they're now doing it for £1,700 including VAT, so they've reduced the price of this thing. So that's good. So we'll speak to the customer and see what they want to do, but the best option is to go for genuine new. So we're sitting here just with the AC on, and we're trying to run the batteries down a bit. So you can see number 10 takes a dive first of all. We're doing at 16.4, where the rest are holding at 16.9. Well, he's about 16.8, but he is tanking the most. You can see for the figures actually when it's charging. Oh no, it's just done the opposite the other now. It's just dived back to number 10. Number 10 goes up higher than the rest. So when it's discharging, look, he's going 17. It's all over the place. Let's come back. Let's see if this battery's charging or discharging at this moment. So there is 5 amps going into the battery. So if we watch that there, yeah. So that's just the fan's on, so you imagine the fan will run for the 12 volt motor. It's the AC that we want on. So that's just negligible coming out of that. You know, it's 17. It says 53% state of health, but I wouldn't believe that. Number 10. Echt. To be honest, I don't know what to make of this. Look at all these spikes. That's just uncertain. Look, that's going away up, and this one's coming away down, and it's coming up not supported. So indeed, is there water ingress in this battery? Don't know. I cleared the codes and gave it a run. It just come right back, right enough. So everything says replace hybrid battery. We've removed the interlock. I wondered if it would start. Well, I knew it wouldn't start, but I thought there'd be a code for it. But see, the interlock comes in there. I'll show you what the scan tool says. I'll go read fault code. So there's nothing there about the interlock, and it just doesn't come up ready on the dashboard. And put your foot on the brake, hit the power button. Nothing there at all. So I thought there'd be a code for that, but no. Update. So the customer has refused repair of this machine, and sometimes I don't really blame them. We had looked at maybe getting second-hand batteries, but once you start using second-hand stuff, somebody says it's like light bulbs. As once one bit goes, the other one's no far away. So here is one of the battery modules. So within the Yaris, there's 20 of these things, but within the Prius, there's 28. So 2 of these stuck together, positive to negative, makes up a block. So the nominal voltage of this thing here, you can see in the top there, see at the left is positive, at the right is negative. So the nominal voltage of this thing is 8.2. But if I put my multimeter between there and there, this one's been charged up, so I think it's at about 8.6 volts at the moment. And as far as I can see, the spec is over 6 amps you can draw out each one of these modules. So there's actually 6 like cells within this. Each one is 1.2 volts. So that's 6 times 1.2 is 7.2. Now, I done a wee bit of research into replacing these modules within that Prius battery pack, and believe me, it is a major hassle, because I've also purchased a charger. I'll show you that. I got off from eBay, the iMax B6 AC dual power, 80 watts, sorry, and it does these batteries, which are nickel metal hydride, nickel metal hydride. But to put you in the picture, with this charger, here it is. With this charger, you can discharge and recharge the battery. So what they normally do, I've seen guys do it, you discharge it at 1 amp, and you charge it back up at 2 amps. So if you do the maths, if you're discharging it at 1 amp, that'll take 6 hours to run it down. Charge it back up at 2 amps, there's another 3 hours, so there's 9 hours. They usually do it about 5 times, there's 45 hours. So 45 hours just to do one. That's maybe worst case scenario. And at that, it may not recover, because you want to take your voltage down to the minimum, about 6.3 volts. This can do this, and this will check its capacity. How accurate it is, I do not know. But if you're going to be 40 hours for one, say, then you've got to do that 28 times. Man, that's a whole load of work. I listened to one guy, it took him 16 days to charge up his Prius battery, put it back together, then a few weeks later, he went and bought a brand new battery pack. It really says it all, so I don't think we could be bothered with the hassle, unless it was our own car or we got it cheap. But really, that price is £1,700 is a bargain, believe it or not. I know it's a lot of money, but it's a bargain. And I believe in the US, they've actually put the price up. So that is what's underneath the back seat. So we thought maybe the best option was to go to Toyota and get the batteries from them for £1,700. But even they're only offering a year's warranty on the batteries. So it questions, is that new batteries? I don't know. So anyway, we will never know, but it's been quite interesting to do. But roll on to the next one. Cheers.